I don't know how much longer I can handle this. Every night it gets worse. Every night I wake up to something I shouldn't be hearing, something I shouldn't be seeing. And it all started when my grandma moved in. She couldn't live alone anymore. She was getting too frail, too forgetful. My mom and dad said it was for the best. She's family, they told me. She took care of us, and now it's our turn to take care of her. I agreed with them. I love my grandma, at least the one I remember from my childhood. I didn't mind at first. She made the best cookies and told the best stories. But soon after, things started to change. She started to change. At first it was little things. She would stare out the dining room window for hours, muttering under her breath. I'd catch her standing in my bedroom doorway at night, just looking at me in a kind of daze. When I asked what she was doing, it was like she'd snap out of it, and once she got her bearings, she'd reply with, "Just making sure you're safe, dear." It made me feel uneasy, but again, she's my grandma, and I know how much she values family, especially us, her grandkids. I figured she was just checking on us like my mother used to do when we were much younger. With time, though, things got stranger, and the strangeness got more and more frequent. The second thing I noticed was how she moved at night. Night after night, I'd hear the soft shuffle of her feet across the carpet, the muffled sound of her voice whispering words I couldn't quite make out. She'd scurry down the hallway, almost like she was full-on running, moving too fast for someone her age. Sometimes I'd hear the TV flicker on downstairs, but it was just hissing with static. One night around 3:30 a.m., I worked up enough courage to sneak out of my room and take a peek at what she was doing. She was sitting cross-legged on the floor with her back to me. The TV bathed the room in cold, flickering light, but she wasn't watching. Her head was tilted back, eyes wide open, like she was looking right at me, and she was smiling. Her lips were moving, forming words, but no sound was coming out. It was like she was speaking to someone that wasn't there. I was frozen in fear. I didn't say anything. I just ran back to my room and got under my blankets. The next morning, I tried to tell my parents, but they brushed it off. "She's just confused," my mom said. "People act different when they get old." This is when the strangeness really began to pick up. About a week later, I started finding little notes around the house. Slips of paper tucked under my pillow, inside my school books, in my backpack. Some of them didn't make sense, scribbles and numbers mostly. A particular note read, "It's not safe to be out of bed past 11 p.m., dear." One night I woke up to find my door open, even though I knew I had closed it. But when I looked down, there were handprints, dozens of them, pressed into the carpet. After that, I started locking my door at night, but the next morning I'd wake up to find that it was unlocked and the same handprints were right outside my door. And then the giggling started. I woke up one night to the sound of it. It was soft and playful. At first I thought I was dreaming, but then I heard it again. And then, clear as day, I heard the whisper. "Ready or not, here I come." My stomach clenched. The voice was coming from inside my closet. I laid frozen, my blanket pulled up to my chin. The giggling stopped. A long, heavy silence filled the room. Then, the closet door creaked open. My grandma's unusual smiling face emerged from the darkness. Terrified, I yelled, "Grandma, what are you doing?" Suddenly, the smile left her face and her expression went blank. She replied with, "Grandma's just playing, dear. You shouldn't have been awake past 11 p.m. And then she ran out of my room. I had enough. I was terrified all the time and I hadn't slept in 48 hours. So, one afternoon, when it was just the two of us, I finally asked her, "Grandma, why do you do those things at night?" She looked at me, her smile never faltering. "What things, dear?" The games, the hiding, the whispers," I said. Her face changed, just for a second, like a mask was slipping, and then that smile stretched across her face and her eyes opened wide. She leaned in as if telling me a secret and said, "I just want to play." I didn't know what to say. My mouth went dry and my skin was crawling. But that night, I woke up to the same giggling whispers. This time, though, the sound was even closer. My heart sank and my adrenaline shot up as I realized where she was. She was under my bed. The bed creaked as I moved slightly and the giggling stopped. She knew I was awake. Then, after 20 seconds of complete silence, I heard, "You shouldn't be awake, dear." I shot out of bed, bolted for my bedroom door, and ran into my parents' room. They were fast asleep, but I woke them up yelling and shaking them. My mom groggily opened her eyes, and I told her what had just happened. Slightly annoyed, she agreed to come with me to my room and confront my grandma. My mom checked under my bed and in my closet, but she wasn't there. We walked to my grandma's bedroom door down the hallway, cracked it open, and quietly peeked inside. There she was, in bed. My mom let out another sigh of frustration and started back to her room, but I stayed there for a second, looking at my grandma. And then the same creepy smile formed on her face. She wasn't asleep. I ran back to my room, closing and locking the door behind me, this time pushing my dresser in front of it, barricading myself in. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. I just stared at my door, being as quiet as possible. That was last night. I'm at the point now where I'm completely out of ideas. Things seem to be getting worse, and my parents clearly don't believe me. I'm desperate now, so if anyone has a solution, please let me know. I'm writing this story from my phone. It's 2:30 a.m., and I just heard a giggle outside of my bedroom door. This is going to be a long night. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you are enjoying the videos so far, leave a like and subscribe so that way you don't miss future videos. Every like and subscriber helps tremendously when the channel is this small, so I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.